This is straight out of Revelation chapter 16. Hey guys, Britt here. Welcome to End Times Bible Prophecy. We're seeing something take place right now that's right out of the book of Revelation. And while it's not fulfilled Bible prophecy yet, we're well on our way to seeing something happen that hasn't happened in thousands of years of recorded history. But first, in case you missed it, we put this article out yesterday over at the Substack on brittgillette.substack.com. Is the singularity a sign of the second coming? Does this event foreshadow Christ's return? And we talk about what this means. What is the singularity? Does Jesus talk about it? I believe he does. But keep in mind, when you go over there, consider becoming a subscriber. You can hit the subscribe button in the upper right hand corner and receive email notifications of articles just like this one, as well as these videos for free. And we don't have to worry about the big tech platforms censoring these videos, these articles, or the connection that we have. So consider going over there and becoming a subscriber. And if you do, this is something that I've failed to mention. All of these for going on well over a year now. When you become a subscriber, you will get this book, 7 Signs of the End Times, this ebook. This is exclusive to subscribers of the email list. It has been since even before the Substack existed. But I've just failed to mention that. So if you're already a subscriber, this went out in the welcome email. If you missed that, check the footer of today's email and all the emails going forward. I've added that to the footer, so anytime you want to access this, you can. But if you aren't a subscriber, consider becoming a subscriber. Again, it's free. And in your welcome email and all the emails going forward, you'll have access to this free ebook. So, what are we seeing that's straight out of Revelation chapter 16? Let's take a look at this right here. This is just from a couple of weeks ago. It says the Euphrates River is drying up. Causes and consequences. And this is from Biology Insights. But again, this is something right out of Revelation chapter 16, verse 12, where it says, Then the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great Euphrates River, and it dried up so that the kings from the east could march their armies toward the west without hindrance. Now, this is no mistake about it. This is a tribulation event. This is an end of the tribulation event. So I don't expect this to happen tomorrow or next week. We'll put this more in context as we get to the end, but what is happening right now? Because the Euphrates River is drying up, and this is something we have not seen in thousands of years of recorded human history. This is considered by historians the cradle of civilization. This is where we saw the Tower of Babel construction undertaken was in this area. And the Euphrates River's been flowing all of these centuries, and now it's drying up. Why? Let's read what this has to say. It says, the Euphrates River, an ancient waterway flowing through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq, has historically sustained civilizations for millennia. Known as a cradle of civilization, it nurtured the development of early agricultural societies and urban centers. Today, it remains an important freshwater source for millions across the Middle East. However, the Euphrates faces a severe threat. Its water levels are rapidly diminishing, raising concerns about the region's future. It says satellite imagery reveals a significant reduction in water volume, and the river's flow decreasing to nearly half its average annual rate during dry periods. This has led to historically low water levels in many sections, exposing vast stretches of riverbed and revealing ancient ruins. The Iraqi Ministry of Water Resources warned in 2021 that the Tigris and Euphrates rivers could run dry by 2040. So guys, why is this happening? There's a number of reasons that this is happening, from higher temperatures in the area causing greater evaporation, drought, less rainfall than we've seen in the past, dam and river redirection projects that are taking place in Syria and Turkey, all across this river. We're also seeing, agricultural irrigation, the inefficient techniques being used. We're seeing the population rise alongside the river, and so there's greater demand for the water. So all of these things are stressing the Euphrates, and it's drying up, which again is something for millennia we have not seen this. Is it coincidence we see this taking place right now? I do not think it is. So let's take a look at this article as well. This is from IFL Science back in June. It says, it's the Euphrates River drying up. Biblical changes are happening in the Fertile Crescent. And that is true. Then it says, the Bible suggested this means the rapture is coming. But water wars may be a more earthly problem. And so Tom Hale needs to read his Bible, this journalist here. And this is why people don't trust the media. Do your homework. There is nothing in the Bible that says the Euphrates River drying up means the rapture is coming. Now, we know the rapture is imminent. I believe the Bible teaches the rapture takes place before the tribulation, and the Euphrates River drying up is a tribulation event in the Bible. So in that respect, you could say it indirectly means the rapture is coming, but we don't need this to know the rapture is coming. The rapture could happen at any time. So let's do some homework if you're going to be a journalist. Let's get the story right. But here we have a picture of, cracked earth during a drought in the southern marshes of Iraq, right there. So let's go on and see what this has to say. It says, although once a fruitful land, the Tigris-Euphrates river system is now drying up at a startling rate. A government report by the Iraqi Ministry of Water Resources in 2021 warned that the rivers could run dry by 2040 due to declining water levels and droughts driven by climate change. In just a few decades, the flow in the Euphrates-Tigris river system has decreased to almost half of the average annual flow during dry years. Satellite images show that the Tigris and Euphrates river basins had lost 144 cubic kilometers, or 34 cubic miles, of fresh water from 2003 to 2013, leaving water levels at some of their lowest in recorded history. So guys, this is a big deal. This isn't something that happens every couple of decades and it ebbs and flows. This is something we've really had never seen before. It says, people have fretted over the Tigris-Euphrates drying up since biblical times. In the book of Revelation, so he gets this part right. So good job, Tom the journalist. In the book of Revelation, the New Testament's climactic finale, the Euphrates becomes a stage for apocalypse. Quote, the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. Thousands of years on, maybe those fears might soon become reality. And they absolutely will become reality, whether it's by this means of the Euphrates dries up for all of these different reasons and it happens to be dry during the tribulation period, or whether some supernatural event comes during the tribulation and dries this up from a reduced state that we see it at now. But no doubt it will happen. Again, we read this in Revelation chapter 16, verse 12. This is part of the bowl judgments that take place. And I would place this right before the Battle of Armageddon. So this clears the way for the kings of the east. I believe for the gathering of the armies. We read in Revelation that the Antichrist gathers the kings of the world and the armies of the world to do battle against the Lord Jesus Christ. So we read that in Revelation chapter 16, as well as, I believe, Revelation chapter 19. So this is a tribulation event. We have not seen it happen yet. We're not in the tribulation now. But again, this is one of many things that we're seeing take place, these signs that are emerging and converging in our day and time. So by itself, If we weren't seeing any other signs, I would say, well, this is interesting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, it's a sign of anything. But when taken in tandem with all the signs Jesus and the prophets said to look for, this should pique everyone's interest, because this is setting the stage for the fulfillment of an event specifically foretold for the tribulation period in the Bible. And guys, we're seeing all of these signs. So again, over at brittgillette.substack.com, we wrote this article back in June, 17 signs of the second coming, why we're on the cusp of the 7-year tribulation and the return of Jesus Christ. And we went through a number of these signs: Israel back in the land, Jewish people in control of Jerusalem, the gospel being preached throughout the world, an increase in travel and knowledge, arrival of the exponential curve, the mark of the beast technology. Our generation is the first that could see that take place outside of the supernatural. We're seeing that system erected right in front of us. The ability to view global events in real time. So the ability of the world to look upon the bodies of the two witnesses in Revelation chapter 11. It says, for 3 days the whole world looks upon their bodies. How is that possible outside of the supernatural until our generation? The same with, we're on the verge of no flesh surviving. What did Jesus mean by that? Well, we have the transhumanist movement telling us that man and machine will merge. About Israel surrounded by enemies, Israel having an exceedingly great army, the rise of the Gog of Magog alliance, the rise of a united Europe, the rise of global government, language barriers disintegrating. We now have Google Meet with instant translation in your native language, using your own voice, your own inflection, everything. So it's seamless. We have rumors of war. We definitely have that. The days of Noah and Lot, we see that. Denial of the signs, because probably right now there might be a couple of people watching this that, as we've gone through that, they said, none of these are signs. People have been saying, what happened to the promise of Jesus coming again? From before the times of our ancestors, everything's remained the same since the world was first created. They say, well, everybody's been saying this for years and it hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen now. So we see denial of the signs. But guys, Jesus said this in Luke chapter 21, verse 28. He said, so when all these things begin to happen, stand and look up, for your salvation is near. And we see the signs he said to look for right now. The signs Jesus and the prophets said to look for are emerging and converging in our day and time. And Jesus said right there in Luke 21, verse 28, as well as in Mark 13 and Matthew 24, that is the number one indication his return is near. He is right at the door. So guys, when we see news articles like this where the Euphrates River is set to dry up in the near future, after thousands of years of human history, well, guys, your ears should perk up. You should remember these words Jesus said, when you begin to see these things take place, know that I am near, I'm right at the door. Jesus is right at the door. And if you know him, that should fill you with a sense of joy and hope for the times in which we live. It should also fill you with a sense of urgency to go out and share the good news, to share the hope you have in Jesus Christ with those who don't know Jesus. And guys, if you don't know Jesus, well, this should fill you with a sense of impending dread, really, because this is telling us that the 7-year tribulation is coming upon the world. And Jesus called that a time of greater anguish than any time the world has ever experienced. So think about what that means. As the terrible things are coming, but you can have peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding, if you come to know Jesus, if you invite him into your life today. So I encourage you to do that. So, guys, what do you think? Leave your comments below. Is this a big deal? Is this not a big deal? Maybe they'll have a big, rainstorm come through and this will fill back up. I don't know. All I know is this is quite a coincidence that we're seeing this in tandem with all these other signs Jesus and the prophets said to look for in our day and time, signs that previous generations of Christians could not point to. So all of this is telling me Jesus is coming back, and Jesus is coming back soon. So guys, let me know what you think. Leave your comments below, and God willing, I'll see you on Friday.